Can you hear me now? All right,
We can
perfect. There was
hear.
Hey, it was something with my headphones. So, good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show. This is the show where we do everything about inspiration, motivation, conversation early in the morning over a cup of coffee. So, or a drink or a beverage, right? Um, so, who am I? I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development Efficacy, WISE for short. We do retreats, conferences, workshops, networking events, and we have a sub running community as well. So, and then a plethora of other things that we do for women. So that's who I am. I will pass it on to Takara to give you a brief introduction of who she is.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name's Toccara Nicole, aka the Identity Architect. I work with Christian female entrepreneurs to live, unlock, and rediscover their purpose so they can build books, brands, businesses, and themselves. As a 12-time author, I'm the founder of Voss Consulting and Publishing International, where we help our clients to monetize their genius, to understand all things authorship, to shift their ship into entrepreneurship. Also, the proud founder of the Voss TV Network, which can be found on Roku, Fire, Apple, and Android TV. We're the EFG of media, all things empowerment, family, and growth. So that's a little bit about me.
That's amazing. I love you just had it all. It flowed out nicely. You say that all the time, I'm sure. So it's kind of like, hey, this is who I am. I love it.
Thank you.
Um, So Kim Montesinos, for those that usually see her on with me, she couldn't make it this morning. She's not feeling well, so our prayers are out to her. I know she's, right now dealing with what she's dealing with. So please keep Kim Montesinos in your prayers so she can be back at it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Um, so let's go straight into, for those that are watching, this is an interactive show. So please make sure that you guys chit chat with us. But we're going to go straight into coffee time, which is, we love this part of the show. For those that are watching as well, we want you to also let us know what you're drinking. But I'll let Takara, what are you drinking? Let us know what you're drinking this morning.
Water. My coffee is looking at me. I haven't been able to doctor her up yet. So when I do drink coffee, I typically drink, my creamers, I use two, either French vanilla by itself or hazelnut by itself, or the combination thereof, the two of them, which
Nice.
makes for an amazing cup of coffee in the morning. But I'm starting off with my water because one of my girls, also a co-host of Vault Talks Women Shares, Sharika Swavey, all the way in Jamaica, is like, you have to start your morning off with water. And so
So true.
I can be a little hard-headed. So I'm learning how to, start my morning off with water.
It is a discipline. I love that you're doing that this morning, and I should be doing that. I try, and sometimes I forget, and then I'm rushing.
Yeah.
I'm like, quick coffee, make that
Right.
coffee. Especially if you have the Keurig, it's just like pop it in
Woo!
there, it makes life
Yeah.
easier. So I have my I love this cup, my Naughty Nice, and I tried cup. It's more of a holiday type because like I
I
tried.
love it.
So I'm just drinking, actually I'm drinking instant coffee this morning. I'm drinking that slimming coffee that I had a guest a couple
Oh,
months ago, and it's supposed to help you detox, and it's supposed to help you like
okay.
curb cravings for the rest of the day. So I said, okay, let me drink this one this morning because after Thanksgiving, man, that sweet tooth, you know, I love to snack. Don't get me wrong. I
Me
snack a
too.
lot. I snack a lot. Um, and sometimes I feel like the snacking comes because of boredom, right? Or
It
like I just
does.
need it, right?
It does.
So, but after Thanksgiving and when you're eating all these sweets, like for me, it's sugar's addicting. So then the moment
Yes.
I start, it just wants to keep going, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you struggle with sugar or
I do.
anyone
I
else.
do. Oh, it's bad. I mean, um, I'm a 40-year-old that loves candy. Like, I love my Skittles. You can catch me lately. I've been doing Sour Patch straws. Like, or like the fruities, like the flavored fruities. I love candy. And it's not
Yes.
good that I love candy the way I do. It's not good. But I
So
don't do it all the time. And Red Hots and Lemon Heads. I mean, you can't go wrong with those. Those are throwbacks.
yeah, those are throwbacks. Those are the candies that you get at, Halloween that you throw out. I don't like those. So I'm like, I don't like these.
Oh
But
no! You should have told me that, Jen.
Yeah, but that's awesome. So for those that are watching, I do see a Facebook user said good morning, ladies. And if you're watching from the private Facebook group, just please pop your name in there so we know who it is. Or give permission to Facebook, not Facebook, Restream, because that's the platform, chat.restream.io give a permission to show your name.
Yeah.
Um but she is drinking coffee with cream and canela or cinnamon. Oh, it's Elizabeth. I love Elizabeth. Elizabeth's part of our community and a graduate. Yes. And she's going to be a published author, or she is a published author. I don't know if we call it already. The book, she's in a book called Business Divas.
I
So
knew you were getting ready to say that with Martha.
with Martha, yes. So she
Love
got
it.
Yep, she's in the book as well, so I'm very proud of her. So, she said, "Love you too." So I'm excited. Thank you for being on with us this morning. We need to have our cinnamon. If we're Mexican, we gotta have cinnamon in our coffee, right? Like,
Really?
yeah, yeah. When I used to throw parties, bigger parties, when my first daughter was little, we used to make a big pot of instant coffee and throw a lot of cinnamon sticks in there. And
What?
especially because my daughter is an October baby, so people wanted to drink something hot. We would be like, "Here, drink coffee,"
Oh,
and people, and that's something even like in the rancho or like in Mexico. Like I remember like going to Mexico and like if it was cold, chilly, and you're out like having fun or dancing or you're like in the plaza or something, someone had coffee and somehow you got coffee with cinnamon in it. Like even
what?
you were like 5 and you had coffee in your hand. Like, uh,
Wow.
Elizabeth said to Car, you got to try it.
Okay, I'm down for it. I mean, that's why I said cinnamon because I know some people put cinnamon in their coffee to burn calories. I've heard that too.
Hmm,
So
hmm.
I'm down for it. I'm always down for trying something different now. That's no problem.
Yeah, definitely try it. So let's go straight into conversation. Takara, share
Yeah.
with the viewers. I know that you were one of my speakers for last conference, and
Oh
that
my
was
God.
amazing.
Yes.
Um, and that just started like an amazing relationship between me and you.
Yes.
You also helped my daughters become published authors, both my
Yes.
babies. My 15-year-old and my 8-year-old both are published authors because of you. So
Woo-hoo.
I'm forever grateful to you and Natalie who helped that happen, made that happen for them. So can you share for the new viewers, your journey, how you got into being like a publisher, all of that
Yeah.
good stuff?
So I love that this platform we get to talk about God because He is. I mean, we would be nothing without Him, right? So I started writing at the age of 7, and I am my mother's only child. I'm the fourth out of 22 on my dad's side, and so I grew up home with my grandparents and mom. And so, when I was on punishment, wasn't often, or when my mom would tell me, "Hey, go to your room, read for 30 minutes." Because that was her thing. Like I had to read every day before I can touch a video game or go outside and play with my friends. Like my mom was very disciplined with me reading. And sometimes I would take out my journal or my diary, and it's so funny because I can see it to this day. It locked, and it had a key, and it was floral, and it had lines on it. And so I would literally pick it up and I would write in it. And a lot of times, if my mom made me mad, like sent me to my room, I would write about her first, and then I would go into my creative writing and creating stories. I've always been a creative. Now that I go looking back at it since the age of 7, and so fast forwarding, I had my first opportunity to become a published author through what we call a co-author book project or anthology back in 2015, and it reignited that passion for writing. Even within my college years, I was literally thinking about majoring in rhetoric, toyed around with even majoring in English, but I decided not to. And so it's interesting how the things that we love, that we're passionate about, come full circle later on within our lives. And so
Yes.
2015, I started writing. 2018, God told me to start the publishing company, and I ran from it. I was like, well, let me just create a logo. At least I'm halfway obedient to what the Lord said. And, I had the logo created, and I was in Vegas for a personal development conference. And I had just published my children's book which is called Daddy, Where Art Thou? It's a story of me sharing with little kids how your dad may not be around, but yet there's a community of people that love you. And
Mm.
it's my story. And so I was selling that, promoting that, and someone asked me, well, do you help people write books? And I was like, I know how, but I'm not doing it. Fast forward to January of 2019, the Lord put me up against the wall very gently and tapped into my finances. And he said, well, are you ready now? And I
Mm.
was like, why are you after me about doing this? But he'll gently pursue you. Okay.
Mm.
I think sometimes we forget that. And so I had someone who I was working with, or who wanted to work with me rather, that I kind of brushed off. I created her invoice and she paid it within an hour.
That's nice. Your
I was
first
like,
invoice like that? Yeah.
what? I'm
Mind
like,
blowing.
right. And so then I started talking about it on social media, and one of my friends gravitated to it. She was like, why didn't you tell me you were doing this? So I sent her an invoice for it and she paid it in 48 hours. So it literally was that sign, because God speaks in signs, for me to start that. And so the publishing company officially started in 2019. To date, I've helped, it's close to 80 people become published authors, with the youngest being your child. Um, right?
Yep.
And so it's grown to this program or this business where the Lord just really helps me to guide my clients to understand how to tap into their creative genius, how to monetize that, and then how to build a brand, and continue to build legacy from their story and their journey. And so that's how I got
Mm.
started, and I absolutely love what I do, and I'm thankful, for Natalie Bonner, and the program that we have with Dream Scribers, where we help the youth and incarcerated become published authors, because those are two populations that have so much to share, but yet people sometimes downsize their thoughts and their voice, and we do the opposite. We magnify it.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love that. That's powerful. And I love something that you said right now, and for those that are watching, is that God will continue to pursue you.
Yes.
Like when you have a calling, and we were talking about this before we went on air, like, oh man, passion and purpose, like
Yeah.
how that feels good, and how when you're in your purpose, you're passionate about it, right? Like the feelings behind
Right.
it. But he will continue to make sure that you do, like, if there's a calling on your life, he will not stop. And I have very similar story like you, and I'm not going to go into detail of my story, but like I ran away from serving women. Like I remember like
Yeah.
no, I'm good, like I
That's
don't want
not
to do
it.
that, you
Nope.
know.
I heard God wrong. That we make up all the excuses in the world.
Yeah, and it was
All
it
of
was
them.
fear. It was fear-based. It was like, who's gonna listen to me? Like, why are they
Right.
gonna pay attention to me, right? But it has nothing to do with you and your skills and your qualifications. If God called you to do something,
Man.
it's gonna and people will follow, people will listen, right?
Absolutely.
Right here we have, it took me, who is this? Oh, Elizabeth. I know it's Elizabeth. It took me 6 years to start my business. Yeah, it is. And then, some people call it the imposter syndrome, right? Like that is something that corporate America will
Real.
call it, which is real. I also believe that it's fear based, just the
It is.
idea of like being fearful of the unknown.
Right.
I mean, Toccara, the fact that you said you made an invoice, put it out there, and it was paid within an hour, I know that boosted your confidence. Like,
Oh my God. When I tell you my confidence went to a whole nother
oh, I
level,
love that confidence. I love that.
yeah, I'm like, what? And there's a lot of times that we are sitting on jewels and gems because we are so scared of what people are going to say, how people are going to gravitate towards it. And it's like, no, get it out here. And I'm a perfectionist. I am the first one to tell you I'm a perfectionist. Like things that be ba 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 in order for me to do what and it's like, no, like stop it, because being a perfectionist will stop us from leaping out and doing what it is that
Yeah,
we were called and created to do. And so we have to move from that. And it can be tough, but
it's scary.
it's
Yeah.
it's necessary.
Yeah, I get it. This logo, the Wise logo, I remember I remember I had an opportunity to do something with women at my church, and I remember like that bombed. I remember I had a woman from my, a woman from my church prophesy and say, "You're gonna serve, and you're gonna serve women," and that was like and I was like, "Yeah, how you know that?" In my mind, I knew that already, but when she said, I was like, "Oh, why are you
Right.
telling me this? Like, I didn't
We
want to
get
hear
look,
that."
we get mad with the messengers. Like, shut up. Like, how you all up in my business?
Yeah, how you know this, right? Um, So when you're saying this, I'm just like, I get it. But once you have that opportunity for the God confidence, I love that. Which how'd you say it?
Confidence.
The
Confidence.
confidence, right? Once you have the opportunity and you understand how you can make money and like you actually see it happen that first time, and you're like, oh, this is easy. I could do this. There's no problem. Like, I remember I went to an event with I'm part of the Laurel Landmeyer Fast Cash Coaching, and she's like one of those gurus like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and she's one of those. And in her conference, she had us selling on the floor to each other, right? Like,
Mm,
yeah, can you imagine how intimidating that is?
yeah,
Like being on the floor with like 200 people. It's like, all right, go pitch your product, go make some money, right? And I remember like that one day I made 800 bucks, like doing that. And that was just like the confidence, like, oh man, if I could do it, I could sell anything. I could make
yeah,
this happen.
yeah.
So I love your story because it's good for those that are watching and listening. Like, you just need that opportunity, just step in faith, make that invoice, say you do it, and someone's gonna pay for it.
Someone's gonna pay for it, and it happens all the time. Like I have my own apparel line. I didn't talk about that. And
Mm.
that people, when I put it out there that I make these shirts, and they say, dope sayings, like dope stands for directed on purpose every day, and people are buying it.
Mm.
My book camp that I was sitting on, and I sold it out in less than 10 days. So it's like those things that what are we sitting on that God's like, I need you to get this out because there's people who need what you have.
Oh, I love that. There's people who need. See, look, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you because this is literally what happened at church yesterday with me. It's like, especially when we're struggling, right? And we've all had those times as leaders. I know it's
Yes,
happened to you, right? When
yes.
you're a leader, you get hit, and sometimes you have to take a step back, right?
Yeesh.
And then because you're struggling in whatever you're struggling in, as in life, your business, your ministry, whatever you're working on will take a hit.
Yeah,
But then we got to remind ourselves that no, what you're doing is not for you. What you're going through is not for you. What you're going through is for the person that you're
yeah.
serving.
And we forget that because we make the experience personal.
Yes.
And when we make it personal, we forget about the whole entire assignment, that the fact is there's more people attached to this than ourselves.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. So you're going through something, and we were just having this conversation yesterday. I was having a conversation with Liza. It's like we go through things not for ourselves. It's to refine us. And even when I was listening to the testimony yesterday, it was like, you know what? At the end of the day, you're gonna be attacked. You're gonna struggle because that's exactly where God wants to use you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that can be tough, especially if you're going through in your finances. Um, and been there, done that. And, you have to figure out like, this isn't personal. It has nothing
Mm.
to do with you. It has everything to do with what's on the other side of this. How are you going to take these nuggets and these gems and these jewels that you're learning through this season to empower yourself and others for the next season? And
Ooh.
when we think about, sometimes we have to just be reminded of scripture, what God says. And it's easy to be distracted by the things of this world that we
Ooh.
that we get distracted on what the word of God says. Well, all things work for your good. We forget that.
Yes, we do. I want to make sure I say good morning. We have Nikki Taylor. She said good morning. Uh, we have us also Elizabeth. She said yes, and then Nikki said, Look at God. I felt that. Amen. I love that. And it's true. And I love this conversation because we are gonna struggle.
Yeah,
Leaders are gonna struggle.
yeah.
I mean, and one thing is like, and this was what hit me hard yesterday in Toccara when I heard this message. It was like, you always need a new testimony. You can't be living and
Ooh,
sharing the testimony from 15 years ago if you're trying to go to a new level. So like, I'm like, man, so I gotta get a new testimony now. Like, I don't
yes,
want a new
yes,
testimony, like,
yes, yes, yes. And that's why we have so many of them. You know, you're giving me an idea. I think I need to make that an anthology. Um,
yeah.
for real. I mean, because sometimes we just need to hear somebody else's story. And that's why I love what I do with publishing, is because the fact that we all have a story ourselves, right? There's something
Mhm.
that we've gone through, and we have the keys, the tools, the gems, the nuggets, whatever you want to call it, to help somebody else. If we only get that confidence to open up our mouths and write that book, or do the audio book, or whatever it is, to get our message out, because
Mm.
the message has the power to help somebody else have a testimony.
Yes, that is so good. That is so good. And you know what I really love? I'm in an anthology as well. Two anthologies actually. New Star Rising. It's called New Star. I don't even remember the. I'm like, I don't even remember. And then today's Inspired Latina. So I'm in two. So I get like the moment you write and you put it out there, it
Yeah,
helps someone else. And then someone comes up to you and says, "Man, your story helped me so much." And it's like,
yes.
it did.
You
I
did?
was like, did
What?
did it really? Right?
Right.
Um, and then, I've even did like a earlier this year, I did like a ebook, just I needed to get some stuff
Yes.
out. You
And there's
remember?
more.
You remember?
There's more from you. Hello.
I know there is. I know there is.
Okay.
So I was just like, okay, God, all right.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, we say it all the time, and it'd be years. Don't play with me.
Uh, so I just remember when I was doing that ebook, and I remember I was like, I was going through something as well in that moment, and I was just putting everything on the words out, taking the words out. And I remember women telling me, like, Jennifer, I read the passion, I read the anger, I read like I felt what you wrote. And I was like, ooh, like because at that moment I was really just putting everything out there, and that, it
Yeah.
was like 9 pages. It wasn't nothing crazy, right? But still, like, it's that power of just the ebooks and the authorship and the stories. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. And just imagine when you really go in depth and go to that other place that you haven't gone yet with your story and your journey. If you're getting that now, wait till you go deeper. And I think a lot of times, I know for me, um, it's hard to wrap your mind around what God has called and created you to do sometimes.
Mm.
It's like, you want me to do that? What? Are you
Mm.
serious? Like,
Mhm.
hold on, me, hold on. Let me woosah, let me whatever I need to do. Let me get my whole entire life together to understand what it is you're saying that I can do. Hold on, what's that? And that's where I talk about that confidence, where I think about, our thoughts aren't his, and his ways aren't ours. And for me, that whole trust in the Lord with your whole heart and lean not to your understanding. My hiccup is leaning. Okay. I want to
Mm.
lean to my understanding, not his understanding.
Mm.
And so that's where I get caught up. And I'm learning in this season of my life to ask myself the difficult questions, so I can do the digging and the researching that's necessary in order for me to get to the next step in the next place within my life. So,
Mm.
and that can be hard because it's not going to be cute. Our
Mm.
nails might get some dirt underneath them. We
Mhm.
might break a sweat. We might lose some people. But when we have to do the digging, because digging is required, it's not even an option, it's required in order
Oh.
for us to live the life that He's created for us to live, so others can live too. It's,
Oh. It's
it's
it's a oh, it is so deep. The fact that we have to go through the digging, we have to go through the soul searching, we
yes,
have right? And it's like, yes, God calls his people to do, and there's people that he has assigned, and you
Yes.
have that assignment attached to you
Yeah.
specifically for someone else.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're
man,
like, you doing kicking and screaming, throwing whole tantrums, rolling around on the floor.
really? Like, I gotta go through this? Like, and that was something that I was struggling with, and I'm just being, with where I'm at right now. I was like, really? I gotta go through this? Like, I don't want to go through this. Like, I kicking and screaming. It's like, I don't want this life. I don't
I
want to
don't
go
want it.
through this. Like, I enjoy being like this. I enjoy living like this. I enjoy being this person. I enjoy being comfortable here. This is what
Yeah.
I know. You want
Yeah.
me to go this now? You want me to do this?
Yeah.
And I and I am the most I'm the brat. So I will definitely be the biggest brat God's ever, I'm kicking and screaming and like talking back. Like that's the that's the person I am with God. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you. So I mean, we two brats in the same pod. I mean, it. So
Yeah.
then when I see the fruit of doing what it is that he told me to do, because somebody else is now, understanding themselves better, or they're thriving, and they come back and say, "Oh my God, thank you." So I'm in the midst of moving, and I've been going through my garage in my garage, going through different things, and I keep cards and all that. I'm not that type of person, and so I was going through that, and I found some things, and it was a reminder that
Oh,
someone basically said to me, "Thank you for allowing for me to realize that there's still good people in the world."
oh,
And I'm like,
wow.
wow. And God took me back to, like, I understood who this person was, because it's been years. It was like my college years. And what I realize is that we are a glimpse of hope and light for so many people
Mm,
when we do what he tells us to do, and we're walking in the fullness thereof because we're obedient. And when we
mm,
know who we are, it literally gives other people inspiration to do
yes.
what they need to do, because we're walking in the fruits of the spirit. Like, we got the joy, we got the peace, we got all, and they're like, "I want that. How did you, what's your secret sauce? What's the formula?" And you're like, "Look, obedience, but you might not be ready for it though. But it's obedience."
Obedience be hard. Like, obedience is a hard thing. Obedience is a hard thing, but it comes with the territory as a leader and
Yes.
as someone that does ministry,
Oh,
that obedient, it's not as easy for, and I guess for us, because we have this responsibility, right, that God's put on us to
yeah.
serve others.
Oh,
We're not just any nilly-willy type person. Whoever's watching, like, if you have a calling, you're just not anybody. God's
no.
not just gonna let anyone come and
Anybody.
take advantage of you or use you or play with you. Like, God don't do that. God don't
No.
do that. God will take care of his. So, but there's this responsibility we have to uphold too, and sometimes it's hard. It's
It
like,
is.
oh, why you gotta give me, like, you seen that meme? Was like 20, like, people are calling like God for 2023, and they're like, God, I don't want to be part of the soldier, what is it, like, I don't want to be part of the battle this year, like, let
No!
you know.
Oh my god.
I think
Oh my
it's so
god.
funny. People are like pretending like they're calling God, like, God, I didn't enlist in the war. Please don't put me in the 2023 in a new war, like, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, I get that. I feel that. But one of the biggest things, I know we're gonna wrap up, and I want you to promote your website, is
Sure.
um don't stay stuck in paralysis analysis. And I think
Ooh,
too many people get stuck in that. They
yes.
want to keep reading, they want to keep learning, they want to keep adding.
Yes.
Like, so God's already equipped you with everything that you have.
Everything.
If he's called you to do something, it's because you already have it.
Exactly. Exactly. That part. Come on now. That's it.
But we stay stuck in, like, let me read something, let me look
Oh,
at something, let me get a new certification, let me add this to my no. I mean, I love education, don't get me wrong. Like, I will go to school forever. Like, I don't mind going for down the road my doctorate, right? Like, I will continue education. Like, I love education.
listen,
But
when you go back to get your doctor, let me know, because I got to go back and grab mine. So I get you.
I gotta finish my master's. I got 3 more classes left. I gotta finish my master's
Woo,
first,
you're
right?
almost there.
I'm almost there. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, don't stay stuck in paralysis analysis. You have it already. Just
Yeah.
do it. Just throw
Yes.
yourself out there and do it.
Yes.
Someone said, "Why you put me on blast?"
Ooh.
I'm
Hey,
not.
we love you. We
I'm
love
not.
you. Come listen. When I tell people all the time, and I'm a witness of it. Just jump out there and do what it is that you need to do. I mean, I started a program back in 2020 as a beta for $700 that now is $2,500, and people pay it with
Mm,
no problem because I
mm,
jumped out there. It wasn't perfect, and now I am literally grooming it to be what it needs to be, and it's working for
mm.
people. So we can't stay stuck. I mean, around this
No,
time last year, I threw out my book camp, and it's been successful. So we can't get stuck on that.
no, not at all. So let's talk about that boot camp. I have it right here.
Yes,
YourAuthorsAuthority.com. Tell the viewers a little bit about it.
yes. Okay, so if you look at the word authority, the word author is in there, right?
Mm,
So what God had me to do is to create Your Author's Authority. It is my website for all things authorship with Boss Consulting and Publishing, where I literally have boot camps. And so some of the boot camps that I'm offering right now is one, if it's, and I'm discounting them because of the holiday season as well. My boot camp on how to write an ebook and how to publish it is $397. It's a 4-week boot camp. It's $397, typically $597, and you literally have me for 4 weeks walking you through on how to start it, just from the ideas to actually having it, what platforms to publish on, things of that nature. And then I also have my Create Your Own Coloring Book master class. It's a 90-minute master class. Coloring books are popular for so many reasons. They're therapeutic for so many reasons. If you go to Amazon and look at adult coloring books, you will find all kinds of different coloring books that will absolutely blow your mind, from affirmations to animals farting to real estate agents creating coloring books for other real estate agents.
that's awesome.
So it's a really great way to start your authorship journey if you're not sure on where to start. And so I also have one that is it's my mini course. It's a 5-week class, and it's from concept to chapter 1. A lot of people ask me, where do I start with writing a book? This is confusing. So I literally have it to where I'm starting from conception, from the idea, walking you through formatting, making you do the research, helping you set your schedule, how to create it all the way to chapter 1. Because if you can get to chapter 1, you can get to chapter 5. So, yeah,
Deep.
so you go to yourauthorsauthority.com, click on events, and you'll see all things boot camp to your left, and you'll see all of what we have to offer. Because it's time for you guys to stop sitting on your gift as an author and to really go and own your authority, especially those who are business owners. Once you have a book, that takes your whole business to a whole nother level because now you have a product. So to support your brand. So that's a little bit
Amen.
about the Authors Authority Boot Camp. So I'm thankful for the time that we spent here this morning.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful for you, and I'm gonna vouch for your service because I saw you take my 14-year-old and my 8-year-old. My 8-year-old did a smaller, like my 8-year-old, her and her lions, right?
Oh my gosh,
Watching
that's the cutest thing.
watching you help my girls put a book together, especially my 14-year-old, to see the structure, see the discipline behind it, see, like, I got to see how you help them and put accountability on the girls to make sure that they get what they needed done. And of course, parents had to get involved and make sure that they were on it, right? But I thought it was magic. It was amazing to watch, and honestly, you did more for my 14-year-old than you will ever know. Like, I don't think you or Natalie will ever realize, and I'm getting teary-eyed.
Mm.
I'm I'm sorry. You will not know what you did for my baby. Because during that time that she wrote her book, she was going through a really hard time. So what you guys did, that was amazing. So geez, Louise, I don't think I've ever cried on my show, but I want to make sure I give you the kudos and thank you for helping. my babies do that because it did a lot for our family. So I greatly appreciate you guys.
You're so welcome. They're such a blessing to work with, and we're bringing it back. Me and Natalie were talking this morning. So, Dream Scribers, y'all, but
Yeah.
get ready because we hitting the ground running in 2023, and I'm sure Jennifer will be sharing on her platform when we do come out with it. It's an amazing program for children and, and adults. I mean, because you guys, as the parents of your kids, literally go through a whole metamorphosis in 12 weeks. So.
Yes, I did see that. So we have right here. um their books were amazing. I bought both.
Um,
Thank you so much for
yes,
supporting. And then of course we have Nikki Tears Water Your Destiny. That's awesome. I love that. Um
amen.
Besides being so professional, Toccara Nicole is a wonderful person to collaborate and work with. I wonder who
Oh,
this Facebook user is. It says Facebook user, so I don't know exactly who it is. I don't know if it's
thank
Elizabeth or someone else.
you.
Um, but yeah, thank you so much, guys. Okay, I never cried on this show. Oh my god! So I gotta like get. It was tears of joy, guys. It was tears of joy because of just so much
I'm excited.
gratitude, overwhelming gratitude for you. You know, so I want to make sure I share
Listen,
that live.
we we love your babies. They're our babies too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you definitely were like definitely mamas. You guys are definitely mama birds. You know, you guys were like on them too. So but okay, so thank you, Takara, again for being on with us. For those that are watching, you
Absolutely.
guys know now where, you know, go to your authors authorsauthority.com/events to know more about Takara and everything that's coming up. And then thank you so much, Takara, for being live and
You're
coming on the show.
welcome. Yes,
I appreciate you and
we
everyone
appreciate
watching.
you too.
Thank you. Oh,
Yes.
it's Martha, Martha's on. Martha Russell, business diva
Oh
over
my
here.
God.
Business diva. Yes, awesome. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, Takara, for being on the show with me. And you guys have an amazing rest of your week.
See
All right.
you.
God bless. Bye.